Fans around the world were beyond excited to hear that Spider-Man would join the Marvel Cinematic Universe back in 2015. Now that he's here, the reception has been still pretty much positive. I mean, even before the Sony and Marvel agreement, Spider-Man was already a popular character. The iconic web slinging, the nerdy comments, and the red and blue suit were already shown on screen before. But this new MCU version, though he got a very limited amount of screen time, explores the superhuman aspects of Spider-Man much deeper and takes them to a whole new level. He was able to hold his own against Cap's side of the Avengers pretty well, was able to swiftly dodge the objects thrown at him by Scarlet Witch, and beat Falcon and the Winter Soldier without too much trouble. But his display of physical strength is what really interested me. Keep in mind, we only saw a few minutes of screen time for Spider-Man in the film, so his strength is most definitely subject to change in the near future. So here it is. How strong is Spider-Man in Civil War? In the newest installment of the Captain America franchise, Spider-Man has shown that he can do things ranging from overpowering Bucky's metal arm to stopping a car running at 40 miles per hour. And those are both at minimum effort. I mean, you could tell that this is the case based on how he just hopped in front of the vehicle and then casually swings away like nothing happened. And also by the easily distracted funny remarks he makes.
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude!
Those feats are nothing to gloss over either. Being hit by a car at 40 miles per hour feels just like falling off of a 95-foot drop, and Bucky's arm can cause road pavements to crack. But let's go take a look at his maximum effort. In his one-on-one brawl with Captain America, Peter Parker easily outmatched Steve Rogers in terms of physical strength, but his lack of experience really gave the win to the man in Stars and Stripes. Towards the end of the scene, we see the web-slinger withstand the crushing weight of a jet bridge, or as some people like to call it, Aero Bridge. According to OptusNet.com, the average Aero Bridge weighs in at around 27 metric tons, not to be confused with US tons. So there you have it, Spider-Man can lift to almost 60,000 pounds. Or 27,000 kilograms in case you like using those units instead. The reason why we could conclude that this is his maximum effort is, well, I mean, look at him. It's just pure observation. He's struggling and his muscles are shaking. The typical sign of muscle fatigue and maximum output as we all learned in PE. But hold on a sec. That 27 metric ton bridge would have felt much more heavier than that already massive weight. Hold on, that sounded kind of confusing. Okay, here is the part where we introduce the term impact force. The 60,000 pound weight is the force of gravity felt over the long period of time, whereas the impact force is the much greater force felt for a short period of time when two things collide. Think about it like this. Basic gravity lesson real quick. Let's paint two pictures. Suppose in one of the scenarios, you get on top of your bed and the other on top of a 20-story building. Now picture someone standing right beside both the bed and the building. You see where I'm going with this? If you were to jump off and try to have that someone catch you in both pictures, which one would most likely have much more impact force? Yeah, that same concept applies here, but we need to figure out the height at which the Aero Bridge was sitting at rest, and the distance it fell. So for this part, we will be using the ground and Tom Holland's Spider-Man as reference points. Throughout the airport scene, we see three different airplanes that show up most prominently. The Boeing 747, the Airbus A340, and the Gulfstream 3. The door sills of each plane have varying heights ranging from 4.78 meters to 5.16 meters above the ground. But if we go ahead and average it out, we get an average of 4.81 meters above the ground. So now we know the starting height of the thing. But how far did it fall? Well, it couldn't have fallen 4.81 meters since we saw Spider-Man lift it, so all we had to do for this one is subtract Spider-Man's height from the initial height of the bridge. Using Tom Holland's height, which is 5 feet and 8 inches or 1.73 meters, we find out that the bridge fell 3.0734 meters. Now this next part kinda gets tricky, but thanks to the awesome online physics impact force calculator, we can predict the force of the falling object much easier. Plugging in what we know, we still can't really get the force because we need to know one more thing, which is the distance traveled after impact. Observing it with a naked eye, we don't see it bounce at all, meaning it could be much heavier than initially thought, but let's say for argument's sake that it traveled a fraction of an inch. Doing so, we now know that Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Captain America Civil War withstood a whopping impact of 81,322,164 newtons. That's equivalent to 20 cars falling on top of you all at once. And that's just a rough estimate too, so Spidey could potentially be even stronger. But let me put all of this into perspective. As stated by LiveScience.com, the average man's bones has a 25% chance of breaking if 3,300 to 4,000 newtons were applied to it. Doing simple math, that would mean 13,200 to 16,000 newtons of force would be a 100% guarantee to break a man's bones. If we take the bigger value of the two and compare it to what Peter Parker endured, keeping in mind he survived the impact and none of his internals snapped, then Spider-Man is literally more than 5,000 times stronger than the average man. So the MCU Spider-Man stopped a car at 40 miles per hour, which is equivalent to falling off a 9-story building, withstood the crushing might of the Winter Soldier's arm, which is shown to be able to crack concrete floor, survived the gigantic impact of a 60,000-pound bridge and managed to hold up said object for more than 12 seconds. And even though we will probably see his strength grow even greater and change with the movies to come, these amazing feats truly make this Spider-Man spectacular. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. The research took a lot of time and effort from me. If you genuinely like this video, then please show your support by hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, consider following me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And for more of my videos, just click right here.